And we are live.
John, how are you?
I'm good, man.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
I have to apologize. I was working on a video earlier, like an hour ago or so,
Yeah.
and I hit the stream button without realizing it. Well, I did realize I turned it off real fast, but I guess I didn't turn it off. Anyway, my sister calls me because you're live. We can hear you breathing real hard. So
It happens.
I had to delete that.
Got a lot of people in the chat already. Bobby.
Yeah,
Lowe,
let's see.
Rick,
Bobby
Rick,
Dolpa,
Donpa.
Zach, John Weason. Who is that?
I don't know.
The hack, the guitar hack's in there. Rick Hefner,
Guitar.
Bobby Lopes.
Epiphonium.
Very good. So that topic, what was the topic?
Today's topic?
Yeah, acoustic guitars.
Yeah.
If you play rock guitar, if you play electric guitars, should you have an acoustic?
Oh,
and
absolutely.
taxes. And taxes. I put that on the end. And taxes.
Yeah, we got in a discussion about, giving yourself a tax break during it's coming up too, by the way. Well, for America it is. US. And you go a lot of musicians aren't aware about the tax situation and the benefits that they can, take advantage of, So, I mean, I always have. A lot of people don't realize that that even the smallest of amount, and even a loss for that matter, if their final goal is to try to play live or to do something with their music, that's a career. That constitutes a career, and you can benefit from that. Claim your guitars, your pedals, down to the guitar pick. You can claim everything. And I've done that for years.
And you also got to complain your earnings too, right?
Do what?
You have to claim your earnings too.
Well,
right?
I mean, if it's a loss is a loss. If there is no
I'm talking about
yet.
I'm talking about whatever you get paid for the gig.
Oh, well, not necessarily. You just, if you're 1099ing yourself, it depends on how you set it up. I mean, yes, but most of us, at least for me, well, here lately anyway, I'm in the negative column there as far as the income versus what the investment takes. There's an old joke that I remember from a long time ago that you can take a carpenter who has a nice $50 hammer, and he can build a $120,000 home and make $40,000 profit. But a musician needs $120,000 worth of equipment to make $50.
Yeah. Well, I understand that.
It takes a lot of equipment for a musician. You have to love it. So,
but you were, when your theater was going strong, that was
right.
it. That was your baby.
That was a huge benefit.
You were. That was your business, and
right.
You were an employer. You had a lot of employees, and
yes,
so you had to do all that.
I 1099'd all my musicians, and then I was the only bona fide, quote unquote, employee of the business. The way we set it up, because it was a what they call an S corp, LLC S corp, and. But I was an employee, and on a personal level, any personal gear that I had as a musician as part of the business, I was able to take all that off. And, a lot of times, if you've got, let's say you got $25,000 worth of equipment, I hold back, if the limit on your deductions are, let's say they're just for arbitrary reasons, is only $500 or $5,000 a year or whatever in that category, which it isn't. But I'm just saying, let's assume that it is, and you've got $25,000 worth of gear. So you only put into service $5,000 of that. Then you wait till the next year and you add to that. Now that you've got that one starting the depreciation process, then you add another guitar that's worth 5,000, and that becomes your second deduction for the second year, on and on and on and on until you get everything applied that you need to. If you need the deductions, I never really put anything into service until I needed the deduction, and then that's always based on if you owe taxes, on your income, those deductions are where that comes back to you.
Did you have a tax guy do all this for you?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because now that you brought that up, that's where my wife's going tomorrow to our
Right.
tax guy.
Yeah, if, in my business, I had to have a CPA to do
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Too much going on, but there's everything from building insurance to actual insurance for instruments to liabilities and
Right.
ASCAPs and BMIs and expenses. Your cost of goods sold, all that stuff was a big part of that business. So yeah, but on a
Right.
personal level, even if you're not a business like I was, you can claim yourself as a musician with a part of your life is trying to develop that career.
Hmm.
And if you're attempting to at some point, make that on a semi-commercial level, then, or even a public and get paid for, writing a song and give it to, that's considered part of your in parentheses, your career. It may not be all of what you do as a career, but it's certainly part of it. And you can lay claim to those deductions. So
Yeah, like a capital cost allowance.
yeah,
If my memory doesn't, no, I don't know what I'm talking about. Gussie Wells said that.
Gussie
Hey,
knows.
Gussie. So we got, I think Mark Tanner is there, Paul Lou,
Yep, got quite a
Gussie
few guys
Wells. I think
showing
Dwight
up
Bailey.
already.
How you
So
guys doing?
maybe
Again, I
we'll.
want to apologize for going live about an hour ago by accident. I feel like an idiot. I never use StreamYards to stream anymore anyway. I very rarely. And I hit stream when I was working on a video. Next thing I know, I have my sister, and I didn't catch, she finally called up on the phone. But she's messaging me on all kinds of media, and then I didn't get it until oh, okay, I'll take care of it.
That's funny.
Yeah. It's not the first time I did it. Probably won't be the last.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, what's in the big news here today? We're talking about
Yeah, I'm gonna play this little news piece. Uh yeah, but I'm gonna try, maybe if I can come up with something. Every time we do a show, we'll come up with a news piece, something with current events. So I'm gonna go ahead and
sure.
play it, and you'll have a listen. Here we go. In case you have not heard, NFL quarterback Tom Brady is calling it quits after 22 years of playing in the National Football League. 10 times Super Bowl appearances, 7 times winning the Super Bowl. I think he's had like 5 MVPs in the Super Bowl, and I think he's had 3 season most valuable player awards, and considered by many as the greatest of all time. I certainly think he is. So he's finally quitting after 22 years, and he's still playing. He's at the top of his game, even though he lost against the Rams in that playoff game. He still has a lot, but after 22 years, it's a long time. So he caught up with his wife, and here's what she said: "It's about fucking time."
that
Yeah,
was
that's what I was working on when
that
I.
was that was Mr. Brady, Mike
Yeah,
Brady.
yep, yeah, and that was his daughter.
Yeah, that was his name, wasn't it, Mike?
Yeah, Mike, and
On the
I
show.
think Marsha was the daughter.
Marcia and Mike. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's funny. I actually in Branson, the Greg Brady character
Hmm.
had a show there.
Oh, did he
And
really? Yeah, he
yeah,
sang, didn't
yeah, they
he?
did, and some good friends of mine were musicians in that show and stuff, and I got to meet him a couple times. His real name's Barry Williams, and
Right.
Anyway, he's a flyer as well. He's a pilot, and
Oh,
we
okay.
kind of had that in common. And our home airport was the same airport.
Oh, I have to
And,
say, my sister is in the chat. Hello, Judith. How are you?
hello, hello.
And thanks for letting me know that I was streaming live and panting. Evidently, I was breathing real hard.
Yeah. What were you doing? Making a video or something?
That one, I was working on that
Working
actually.
on that video?
Yeah, and I was doing some of
That's
it in
hilarious.
doing some of it in OBS and bringing it back into DaVinci and
That's funny.
I know I knew I hit the live thing, but I didn't think I turned it off. I thought I turned it off real fast, but like you got to use that stream key, and I thought it would because it changes if you. Evidently, I haven't changed it since the last time I did it that way.
Yeah.
Anyway, so sorry for being an idiot.
No worries, man. That was funny. That was a funny little bit, man.
Yeah, we were talking about it today in Discord. Oh, I could do this, and maybe we could do this, and but it's all for fun.
So speaking of football, how did you this weekend? This past weekend, crazy, huh?
It wasn't quite as over the top the week before, but
right. We never.
But I thought Kansas City. I don't know what happened to them in the second half.
I don't either. I think they got complacent, is what I think.
Total different team.
It seems like to me that seems to be the Chiefs. Downfall is that when they get ahead, they're not good with being ahead. They're good with being behind and coming from behind, but when they get ahead, they don't know how to protect it.
They were totally stopped in the second half. I think they only had that one drive where they tied it up. That was it.
It was a few things.
I just, and
I watched some of the interviews, the post interviews, and it was funny because when you see their coach, he took it all on himself. I could have given Patrick, all kinds of plays, and I didn't, and that was my mistake, and that wasn't set up correctly, and I should have did this, and I should have did. He took all the blame, and then it went through each player, which was difficult because they're in front of a microphone after a loss like that, and these these interviewers are taking turns asking questions, and they didn't want to be there. You could tell. But anyway, Patrick gets on the microphone, and he said, "No, he said, I know the coach will always take a bullet for everybody, but some of those decisions were my fault. I didn't see certain people."
Yeah, he's a good guy. I mean, he doesn't. He just tells it like it is. He's never nasty. He's always
but there seems to be the question. I mean, they always point to, well, do you think you're going to be here next year? Well, of course, Patrick is going to be, but the coach, when they asked him that, he didn't even say, he didn't know how to respond to it. He's like, well, I mean, I'm assuming I'm going to be here, but in the NFL, you never know, do you?
No,
you just never know what's going to happen. So,
man, she just didn't have. I mean, you got to give the credit to Cincinnati too. Their defense was much better in the second half. They did
great. I mean, they stayed in it and fought and I was very impressed with both teams. I mean, the gas ran out, there at the last. I thought, and even with them winning the toss at the at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, here we go again. Yeah. They're gonna people are gonna argue, going, "Oh, that's unfair," or they're gonna win this game, but it turned around just real quick. It shows you that anything can happen.
And
hey, Johnny Kramer,
and it was official. Tom Brady did retire today.
Yeah, I didn't get why it was going flip-flopping there for a couple of days.
Well, I think he said something on this morning on Instagram, and then I'm watching some sports channels, and that's all they talk about all day long.
Right.
Just Tom Brady retiring. I mean, constantly just talking about the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But he was, like I said in that little goofy video there, I mean, we're never going to see. Look, he's been in 10 Super Bowls, and he won 10 of them. That's right. That's unbelievable. I grew up with Johnny Unitas. I saw him play 2 games. And he don't have nowhere the stats that no one does. Brady does.
Right.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable.
So
Speed for hire. Epiphonium. They're in the chat. You said Johnny Kramer.
Yeah.
Very good, very good. The
So
dog pod
about them taxes
about them taxes.
or the acoustic. Yeah, let's get back to music.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I have one. I do have one acoustic, as most of you know.
Well, I've got a couple, and I mean, for the same reasons we were talking last week, definitely, having one hanging around that you can, pick around on, get good ideas. Of course, some people take them a lot more serious than I do. I mean, I love an acoustic guitar, don't get me wrong, but I use it more as a tool than I do as an instrument, for live or anything like that. So um, a convenience tool, you know. You don't have to plug up much to. Although in the tribute show that I did, we used it quite a bit in that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you're doing Eagle stuff, it'll come in real
Oh
handy.
yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So hey, Mark Tanner, how you doing, buddy? I hadn't seen Mark in a long time. A lot of music floating around there. Are you working on anything?
Me myself. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I got stuff in GarageBand, and it's just I look for. I find excuses not to work on it.
Right.
No, I mean I did. I think I did something in here. Oh, I did something in on Reaper. I had see I downloaded Cakewalk. It's a free DAW, but it comes with some nice plugins. It comes with a version of TH3 Overloud. It's got it's good guitar emulator. It's
Yeah.
probably the best one out. I mean, it's really good. But I tried it in Reaper, but he gave me choice of a demo. It's got like 14 days, which probably 5 of it's gone now or whatever it was. Just playing with that, they just sound so good. Those effects in there. I mean, if you
Yeah.
know, I don't know if you know who Steve from Boston is. He comes on Saturday. He goes live like 7 o'clock, and then lately he's been going like later after midnight. But he uses that, and he's number one. He's a phenomenal guitar player. But
Yeah.
he uses those emulating software, and it's oh my gosh, it sounds so good, really
Yeah.
good.
I'm not aware of him. No.
No, Steve from Boston, yeah, he used it. Yeah, he's been around. He's been doing podcasts for a good while, or YouTube for a long time.
Yeah.
um, but it should the average user get a acoustic guitar? It depends what like you were playing the genre of music, which you called for.
Sure.
If you play some folk stuff, or Eagles, or maybe some CCR too. I guess maybe I don't.
Yeah.
I just got one. I said I don't even think I ever had an acoustic guitar that I can remember. And then I'm just listening to some people here online, and well, let me get an acoustic guitar. Maybe I can learn how to finger pick. And I don't want to spend a lot of money. Mine's a cheap one. Actually, you know what I have mine in the gig bag right now. I bought one of those Humidipacks things in there, and I
Yeah.
bought a hydrometer. So I got to read it because it's like I don't know how accurate it is, but I imagine it's fairly accurate. It's like 25, 26, 27% humidity, so it's very low. And you what at least 40, 45 for a guitar, between 45 and 55 or something like
That's what
that.
I've heard around the around the 35 to 40 mark.
Yeah, I took my Ibanez. I picked that up the other day. I have a Prestige AMH 652. I picked that up the other day. It had so much forward bow. I mean, it was the action was like that, and I don't want to mess with it because of the Floyd Rose or the Floyd Rose type,
Right.
and every single fret sharp. None of my other ones, none of the Les Pauls is not doing that. My Strats and even my cheap EVH is not doing that.
Yeah.
So that's in the shop right now.
Well, we had 3 guitar players in the show, and we always left our guitars on the stage. We didn't have to strike the stage, for sometimes 2 or 3 nights in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And so we would leave our guitars in the stands and stuff like that. And there were times that we would come in
Mm-hmm.
to the theater, and all of us would strap on, and we've lost your video there.
Oh, I did that on purpose
Oh, I'm
because you
sorry.
were talking. I did that.
Oh, gotcha.
It's all right.
But anyway, the humidity levels, I don't know that the temperature did that, but I know the humidity had a lot to do with what was going on with those guitars, because if sometimes we would come in, they were still perfectly in tune. Other days we would come in and they would be,
Way
a
sharp or way
16th,
flat.
a 16th or an eighth, step sharp or flat.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't a coincidence on one guitar over the other, because all the guitars on stage would do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy, because I would look to my guy to the right that played guitar also, and I'd say, "They're sharp today, aren't they?" And he'd say, "Yeah, man, I'm almost a half step up, or whatever, And the action felt the same, but you could just tell that there was something about it, So for people to think that humidity and temperature, I'm sure plays into it. Boy, it does. It really does do a trick. So
And the heat, what expands and then contracts
right.
when it's really cold, and that's how it's been really cold up here.
But sometimes the temperature would be the same, but
Mm-hmm.
and we ran pretty steady air conditioning in there, but the humidity level, and it even did something to the sound system sometimes. Now I was the king of trying to analyze the room
Mm-hmm.
based on how many people were going to be there that night, and it would feel different to have 80 or 90 people versus 120 or 140. It would make a big difference between even that. It would soak up sound, 30 or 40 people more would soak up sound even more, So yeah, it had a lot to do with it, So
Right.
anyway.
Now, in the wintertime, what is that when you were having most of the problems?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
It
Huh?
was
Okay.
always, of course, in the Ozarks, it can be, really humid one day and not the next. It could do that pretty easy. You could wake up with fog everywhere.
Mhm.
The dew point would meet the temperature, and man, that's when that fog would hit, and you'd have that 3 or 4 days in a row, and then all of a sudden for 2 weeks you didn't have any of that. The humidity level would raise up a lot higher. So
Do you clean your guitars? You ever treat them yourself?
yeah, I'll put there's a lot of back and forth on should you take all your strings off and clean it and all that kind of
Mhm.
stuff. Some people like to keep tension on the neck and replace them one at a time and all that. I like to take all my strings off, take some lemon pledge or whatever, put it on a rag and get the body nice and unsmudged, and then I'll take like a linseed oil
Mhm.
and put on the fretboard after I clean it.
I
And
use lemon oil, but only on maple necks. Let's see the chat after I said that. I'm joking. I'm joking.
but a friend of mine taught me about linseed oil a long
Mhm.
time ago on the necks,
Yeah, I saw that too.
and it has a way of penetrating it and keeping it nice. So, but
I'm bad. I think I only clean one of them up one time, but normally I do it. Not all the time. Normally I do one string at a time.
now, how do you wind your string on the peg?
Well, they have this thing on there, and I turn the peg.
Yeah, I
And
know that.
now
But
I have a wine. One of the little somewhere. That's how often I change the
no.
string.
I mean, how do you wrap it though? Do you do any locking at all? Or?
Yeah, yeah, I do whatever. I can never remember how. I always gotta look at a YouTube tutorial. I'll do it
Well,
that
what
way.
I do is I take the holes, or if the guitar's like this,
Mm-hmm.
I make sure that the holes are straight with the neck.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll feed it through the bridge or whatever, bring it up, put it through those holes, and then give myself. I'll usually keep maybe a good 2.5 to 3 inches, depending on what string it is,
Yeah.
because if you do a thin string that much, then you're going to whine forever.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, let's say it's the top four, what I call the top four, the E, A, and D, and all that,
Mhm.
and I'll come up about 2.5 to 3 inches up with using my fingers. See, I don't know if you can see that or not.
Yeah.
And then I'll go in toward the neck and go underneath, pull it up tight,
I
and
think
wrap
I
it
I think
down.
that's how I did it.
And then you hold it with your finger and your
Mhm.
little fingers. Let's see if I can show you how I'm doing this. With your little fingers keeping the tension, keeping it up off the neck. And then I'll take my winder and
I
just
think that's the
feed
way I
it.
did it.
And as I'm winding it, I'll jerk it up and make it really. And a lot of people think on it's my belief, and what I've you know known in the past is that the amount of tension that you use on a guitar, it's not going to stretch steel. So what's happening when they call it string stretching, but really what's happening is that the string is really just settling in to the wind on the front and the back of it. But I can tug and pull pretty doggone tight and put a pretty good amount of pressure on it, without damaging the guitar, of course.
I have a
And,
couple of them that has locking tuners, and
right.
I
I
don't even
mean,
worry
and you can
about
do
that.
that. Lock nuts are a different story, but I'm
Yeah, it's a
talking
lot.
about
Yeah,
if you're,
different. Yeah,
with
but
a
I
less.
think I'm pretty sure I do it like that because it's kind of it locks it in there doing it that way.
But yeah, if you
The way
pull
you
and tug
explain
and
it, yeah.
you come back up to let's say you're working with E, and you bring it back up that tone, you pull and tug some more, bring it back up to the pull it and tug some more, and it'll eventually it settles in and it does not move. I mean, it really. I've gotten to where the only movement after that is really based on weather.
Mhm.
So, you know, and you can that to me is what string stretching is, and I don't know. A lot of people think that and they may argue that the steel actually stretches, and over time you can stretch it. But I tend to believe that they're not moving. That the amount of pressure that's on from a guitar end to end is there's not enough pressure there for it to actually stretch steel. You know, and but you're actually tugging it enough to where you're settling it in to where it doesn't move anymore.
I'm
So,
going to say hi to Ricky Compton. He's joined us. Thanks for stopping in, Ricky.
hey, Ricky.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
We got 19. We had, I think we had 31 last night. That's for me. I know it's not good anyway,
Is that
but
a
for me,
record or
it's
something?
good.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't had 30 over 30 in a long time.
I
Been a
need I
long.
need to promote the fact on my Facebooks and stuff that I'm doing this, but which I haven't done, and I apologize. I
Yeah, I
need
was
to
gonna
do.
say talk about you got a YouTube channel. You got tell
Yeah,
your
it's been for the most part inactive because I've been sick and just trying to get
right.
back over Christmas and just kind of settling back in for the new year and stuff. And boy, and you can tell sometimes I've got a cough still. That
I've been coughing, but mine's from I think it's from the dry weather.
Yeah. So I would rather enjoy it this way and just kind of come on and instead of
Hmm.
spending my every waking hour trying to develop video. I don't know. I'm just I'll do it from time to time, but I'm just not going to take it as serious as I thought once.
Right, right,
So,
right, right.
but yeah, I do, and I'll post things from time to time, and
But I mean, I imagine with
put
your,
songs and stuff.
can I talk about your job or?
Sure, you can
I
do
mean,
whatever you want.
I imagine
Hey,
there'll
I'm
be
an open book. You can't.
there'll be a time where you're going to be busy. You probably won't even be able.
Yeah.
I imagine, depending,
Well, this job it's a true musician job. He told me that I might work 2 or 3 hours one day and then 10 hours the next day and maybe an hour or two the next day and then 15 hours and it's
Okay.
based on the work and if there's a concert coming in. It's a true, you know, um, theater style job. It's
Hmm.
as needed, though we try to keep it at the 40-hour a week thing, but they do outside venue events, like they do. I mean, I may be called on to do, hey, go set up a sound system
You
at
might. I
Town
guess
Square or something. I don't know.
if you want, you can explain what you'll be doing. I mean, it's a
Well,
It's right up
I'm
your alley, you know.
part of the theater crew now at a local city. They, a lot of cities have performance halls that they own, and this city that's up north of me about 25 minutes. They've been in business for a long time, for about, well, I'm guessing, you know, over 20 years. And they have bought this building that they bought is a huge, nice, 8 or 1,000 seater or something. They have
Mhm.
2 theaters in it, actually, 2 venues within it, within the building. And it's part of the Parks and Recreation Department. And I was hired on to be, you know, one of the sound tech, stage personnel, whatever you want to call it. They don't really have a specific title because I'll be doing a lot of different jobs and handling a lot of it's under the Parks and Recreation Department,
Mhm.
so there's budget for the building itself, of course, and staff and all that. So I get to do that. Really, really good job. It's a
Right, right.
good job to have for a guy like me.
Uh, the performers, or are they like top end,
Oh yeah, yeah. I
or
mean,
there's
like
some
this
big
next
names
weekend, we're going to
maybe?
have. Well, they've got quite a few tribute acts coming in.
Okay.
They had an Eagles one a couple weeks ago, actually, and then they've got a Eric Clapton tribute coming in a
Oh.
couple of weeks. They have then they have what I call showcase level. That's a showcase level, and then
Mhm.
they have national acts. They've got Paul Revere and the Raiders coming, and Herman Herman. So
Oh.
it's kind of a combination. And they've had people from like the Happy Days. They tour the country. People that were on that show have some sort of a musical act, and they were there, about a month ago. And so yeah, I mean they book some pretty serious talent,
That's cool.
so
We have a in town here. We have a performing arts center, and
that's what
they
this
have
is.
yeah, they have a lot of tribute bands. And the last one we saw was a Queen band. Then
Yeah,
last year, maybe 2 years ago, we saw a Led Zeppelin. They were really good, a Led Zeppelin tribute band.
right.
Then they had a thing of Monsters of the Rock. They had some of the musicians in there were actually, I think one guy played with Steve Miller. They were really good. And it's
I'm
really
hoping to be an influence on
inexpensive.
them because I've got some connections with some people I think that would be good for the venue, and we'll hope that happens. So,
Hmm.
and I'll keep you posted on some of that. But
Cool.
it's yeah, I mean, the good part about it was is that, I mean, he said in the same paragraph, he told me, he said, look, this is the kind of job where um, you may work those hours that I was just talking to you about. And then he said, but I'll tell you, there's a lot of times we twiddle our thumbs around here too
Oh, really?
because there's nothing to do. So we just get in and straighten up the supply room or whatever, the equipment room. And he said, but then there's also times that you might be called on to do other stuff. But the main thing that he told me, he says, most of your weekends are going to be off. And I went, whoa, that's
That's
nice.
really good.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that.
What would really be good if they called you to perform?
Well, I could probably put something together, and
I know. You would like
so
that too.
yeah, it'll be fun. I'll see what happens. I have been known to do those types of things,
Oh, my
but
good friend Frank C, who
Frankie C,
just moved. He's in here with us. How you
yeah,
doing, Frank? How's the new neighborhood? Very cool.
not a lot of music, not a lot of new music being talked about here lately.
Um,
The only thing I had heard is that there was a controversy with, let's see, it involved Spotify, Joe Rogan,
oh,
um,
a couple
and
different
Neil
people.
Young.
And Nearly, and I think Joan Baez is gonna.
Oh, she's
Yeah,
part of it
because
too.
it's all stems with because of Joe Rogan's. He has these doctors on, and
Yeah,
they're talking about just the opposite of what where the media is telling us about
yeah.
the virus, and I don't know. I don't get involved.
So
in
they're
that.
voicing their opinion, and basically what it amounts to is they're voicing their opinion. He's the MC of the show,
Yes.
and he's very popular, more popular than Neil Young on Spotify. So Spotify dissed. I mean, when he gave him an ultimatum saying, "Get rid of Joe Rogan or I'm gone," they said, "See you later."
But he had
Now, if you don't
a
think
few
that things
followers.
revolve around money, right there will tell you that it
Yeah.
certainly
Oh
does,
yeah.
regardless of your stance.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I hate people feuding like that. I mean, um, I don't get into that. I just don't.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a right to their own opinion. I believe, and
Right.
if they get too far into some some theory that I don't that I just can't take, then I just remove myself from the
Yeah.
situation, or I
Same
turn
here.
the channel. I don't sit and argue with people about it, so
I go back and forth to see. I shouldn't talk. Fox and CNN. I just go back and forth, see them fighting each other.
that's a good thing, though. I mean, if you get both sides of the picture, then
Yeah.
you're doing yourself a favor there.
But they're both extreme, one way or the other.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I remember my favorite times when it was the news was people like Walter Cronkite and
oh yeah, well yeah.
those types of people, that they had credence, and you had guys going overseas that in the middle of the war and next to the soldiers, and
I remember when President Kennedy passed away and Walter Cronkite being the one.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
Oh, I can remember that. And he kind of broke down.
So, but yeah, I mean, you if you're gonna take those things so seriously, and you're gonna lose a lot of friends if you fight for causes of other people. So just make sure your opinion is your opinion. About things,
and you should respect each other.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I'm not going to trash this person or that person because you think of this or that, but don't do it to me either. So that's all.
Right. For those who don't care for Les Pauls, for instance. So I don't care. It doesn't bother me.
I put something.
I love them.
I posted something on Facebook. Right.
Yeah.
I forgot what it was. What did I post? Anybody remember? I posted stuff on Facebook knowing that I would get a lot of and people that never even, I follow it, never ever said anything. They were commenting. And it was about, I took it down. I forgot what it's about. I totally forgot what it's about. I can't remember what it's about. But it was interesting.
Yeah. Oh yeah. People will come out of the woodwork to argue with you,
I guess it had something to do with the virus, but
yeah.
But I took it down because even other people were starting to attack each other, and so I said, "Nah, I didn't mean for that to happen. Didn't mean for that to happen." So
we're not alive long enough to harass each other like that. In my opinion,
Oh yeah, right.
Life is a gift,
right,
and you should enjoy every minute of it because none of us are guaranteed tomorrow.
I'll have to say hi. Jeep Survival just dropped, and he's another Floridian.
Oh yeah, really?
He's way up there north. What's that north?
Very cool.
West. What's that north? Tallahassee.
Jacksonville and that.
Tallahassee. West, northwest.
Yeah.
I think. And he's a pilot. I mean, he does it for a living. He flies jets.
Very cool.
He flies jets. Yep.
Very cool, man. I've never been in a private jet in the seat of one. I'd love to.
I met him. I met him before he let me sit in the cockpit. I mean, we're on the ground.
I'd love to fly around in the cockpit and watch one do his act. I mean,
I couldn't imagine. I don't know. I couldn't imagine.
As little as I know about it, I'd still love to see.
What was it? What was the one that you flew? What was it called?
The single engine. Like the Cessna.
Okay.
I've flown up to a Cessna 182 before. 152, 172, 182. I'm certified in all those.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, when you move into the jet stuff, I mean the dynamics and all that stuff is pretty much the same, but I mean it's a lot different. Obviously, even a twin engine is the methods and the process is really a lot different. So But yeah, I'd still love to get up there and experience it one day.
That's what's so cool about, when they had YouTube, the Hangouts, whatever, and I've been doing this for between 10 and 15 years. You meet so many good people, and I was
Yep.
fortunate enough to meet a few people. Fred was one. I met him, I think, 3 times, and I met a few people, and they're so good. Some of these people are just so good. I mean,
Right. Yeah. Good
uh,
people. Yeah. One of them
eh,
is our buddy with Brightech
right,
computers.
right.
I didn't tell you about
Oh,
this, but
he's friends with him too. He knows him.
I woke up the other
Cheap,
day and I was totally blue screened on my computer,
really.
on my brand new one. Yeah.
I have one.
And I was befuddled. I was like, what the crap? And it was in a loop. It wouldn't let me,
Right.
I could get into the CMOS, but nothing was making any sense. Well, 2 days prior, I'd done an update on my, Windows does their update.
Right.
And I got on my phone. That's the only way I could get on
Mhm.
Discord to go to his channel and say, "Hey, dude, can you help me out? What's going on?" And he said, "Well, what I would do first is," he said, "Do you have other hard drives plugged in and other USB things?" And he said, "I would unplug everything
Right.
except for your C drive,
Mouse and
and
keyboard. Yeah.
I'll be
Oh.
danged if it didn't come right up." What had happened is that I had I'd have old, drives from other computers that I have data on, and I wanted to keep, some musical data or pictures or whatever. And I had those plugged in, and when it did the update, it was trying to update all of the versions of Windows that were even on those old hard drives.
Oh, so you have full. Oh, yeah.
So there was another version of Windows on one of those hard drives, and so what ultimately I had to do is take
That's
all of the
strange.
files that I wanted and basically copy and paste them over to the C drive,
Hmm.
reformat that hard drive, and then drag them back over, and then get rid of all the Windows stuff that was on it. But that was the culprit. And man, it took me probably a good full morning and into 2 o'clock in the afternoon before I finally figured it out. So Bright Tech is a punk.
Yeah, it's nothing to do. It has nothing to do with his tech ability. It's
Yeah.
just you're talking. Yeah, we can get into politics and all that stuff.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's something to it. But he's a good tech. He knows what he's doing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I have one.
He got me right through it.
I never had a blue screen since I've been using Windows 10. Never ever had a blue screen on any computers I had Windows 10 before. I booted up the other day and it booted up to a blue screen. It just ran, then it booted up. It was fine. But I
Right.
think what happened, I shut down like the day before by accident. I hit the power button and it just shut it right down.
Yeah.
But it did catch the error. Something to do with memory. Something, I don't know what was going on. But it was the first time I ever had a blue screen. I've had it before, but not on Windows 10, and it's certainly the first one I had on here, I believe. But it's been all right since.
Yeah.
But some people they religiously they'll reformat and reinstall Windows every 6 months, every year. I never, only if I have to do it. Because it's you got to put all your programs back on, but
Yeah.
it can be a pain if you got a lot of stuff.
Well, I pride myself in knowing quite a bit, and I didn't want to. I wanted to exhaust everything that I knew within my brain before I.
Did
But
he?
I
Did
mean,
he
that
have?
one definitely had me stumped. I did
Did
not
he?
expect that at
Did
all.
he have you try to boot up in safe mode? Do you
Yeah, I
remember? Did he
mean,
try to do that?
it wouldn't even do that.
Okay.
It wouldn't
Uh,
even. I mean, I couldn't do anything. It was just in an ugly loop. So, Hugh, no, I have not recorded any new songs lately. I did a commercial project for a guy, and that's the last thing I did. It was about a couple of weeks ago. I did a theme song for his YouTube channel, but that's all I've done so far. I've been a little lazy, purposely.
yeah, like I said, I'm messing around with GarageBand, and I'm trying to. I got a couple things on there. I want to make it where if you want to double track, which you've probably done, right? Double
Oh
track
yeah.
the same track. Now, are you double track the same track, or are you just playing another track the exact same thing, or you do it both ways?
Well, I mean, that is my definition of double tracking. When you play a part
Mhm.
and then you play the exact same thing only on a different track.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, that's double tracking to
Yeah,
me.
I tried. Well, I've been doing it, just copying it, and
No, no, no. That
usually you
that'll
don't.
never that'll
It's not going to
never
sound
give you the
different. It's going
same.
to say it may sound louder, but it's not going to. It needs to be differentiated and
Yeah,
stuff.
there's
I've been
you
looking at some good videos now lately.
even
So
even I made it an art, and you can hear it in a lot of music. Lead singers that have double tracked the lead vocal,
okay.
and and like for instance, lead vocal double tracking for me, I I sing the same part, but I don't enunciate the T's, the S's, and the T's like I did on the first one, and I do that purposely because
Hmm.
you ever been in a class with like a choir, and the guy up front always says, make sure that your S's are all together or your T's are all
Okay.
together. That's because even a split second of doing a T in a different spot, you can hear that. You can hear it, or
So you can
when
hear it's
you know,
just you can hear the difference in the track. That's what you want. You
yeah,
want to hear
you want to hear the
the
different.
pan
You
one
want,
to the left hand.
yeah, you want to hear both vocals independently, but you
Hmm.
only want to hear one S or one T. For me, that's the way I cut.
Right.
And so what I'll do is I'll sing, let's say, if the lyric is "Tiny Toy Tot," I might go not necessarily "Ini Oi Ot," but that's kind of an overemphasis of what the way I do it. But I might go "Tiny Toy Tot, Tiny Toy Tot." I mean, make it less present and let
Hmm.
the first vocal be the dominant on the articulations, and that really really serves well.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm gonna start doing that.
yeah, if
I mean,
it,
not singing, but on the
it's
guitar.
really
Yeah.
good for vocals, and especially with harmonies when you're doing if I'm doing a three-part harmony, you're never going to hear anything less than 9 individual cuts from me. I'll put, you know, usually I'll put 3 of each one, and I'll pan one left, one right, and one in the center or off center a little bit.
That
Then
many,
oh yeah,
and you're
yeah,
singing the same thing. Yeah.
the exact same thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
And
Cool.
then the third of the chord, same thing, 3 vocals, left, right pan, and then I might off center, the 3 that are going to be the most dominant in the center. You'll have one in the center and then 2 that are off center. And the other ones are all, kind of spread like a, you know, I don't know how you explain it, like an eagle or whatever.
Hmm.
And I'll just kind of do it this way, and it really fills it up.
What about a guitar solo? Do you do that too?
Yeah, I've been known to do that at times, but
Because I mean, I don't know. I'm nowhere near your level. But if I'm improvising, there's no way I'm going to remember exactly unless I'm doing a song that's got a
well,
specific melody in it.
that's where you analyze what you did. I'll
Okay.
usually, if I get a good take and I'm cutting and I'm overdubbing, let's say the first half, if it was great, and then I'll do another one and then I'll tie it together. And then all of a sudden, now I've got one line of a good lead guitar that I like.
Hmm.
And then I listen to it again and I listen to it again if I want to double it. And
Hmm.
then I'll try to emulate what I did. And I do that with the rhythms. There's nothing like having 2 or 3 guitars doing the same rhythm part, but panned differently. That
Right,
it
right.
just really, really thickens everything up.
Yeah, from everything I'm reading, that's what the
Yeah.
because like I said, all I did was just clone the track, and it don't
Yeah.
sound it don't sound any,
Yeah. There's
even a
all
pan,
kinds.
it doesn't sound like any different.
Some of the like they were talking about in the Def Leppard vocals, um, just to bring a lot of the sibilance stuff out, he would just whisper into the mic, like, "Hey, down, down," and that kind of stuff makes it sound almost more crowd sounding, like
Hmm.
it's a crowd singing with them. And they would do, you know, 6 of those and put 3 on one side and, kind of do all their panning and put it way down in the mix to where you can't hear it as a whisper, but it does make an effect on that vocal. They're singing, 3-part harmony with, 12 harmonies going, and then they've got this whisper in there as well. Hey, don't you know? And it really brings out that top end, stuff like that really
Right.
tricks.
Yeah,
You
I'm
know.
going to work on it. Maybe not tonight. I'm dead. Oh no, I was up. You know what I was doing? I don't know if you saw any of the videos. I worked on um two videos recently. I did one where it was using this NVIDIA software where you can make it. You if you have a certain type of NVIDIA card,
Uh-huh.
you could use it as a green screen without a green screen with this
Right.
software. And then I did one. There's an OBS plugin. I did one. I did that one last night, and I got that. I got it done pretty quick. The actual video, it's only like 6-7 minutes long, but I didn't like. So what I'm doing, I'm just like breaking it up, moving this over there, moving that, because I was messing up things up. So it just takes a long time to do it. But I was up till 5. Then I started watching TV. I was up till like 5 a.m. and I think I got up at 8:30 this morning.
Yeah.
See you later, Fred. Oh, I'm going to say hi to Les Nagy, stopped in, and Bobby Lopes was here. Say hi to you guys. Mark Tanner. Yeah, Fred. I met him like 3 times. Went to a Linux Fest in Ohio. Then he was at a local airport near here in Maryland, and that's where he
Yeah.
let me come in the cockpit. And where else? Where else did I? Oh, at the a tech convention in Philly, outside of Philly, with Mike Smith. This guy's been doing a tech podcast for like 15 to 20 years now, I would say. Mike Smith. Now his is all about networking, but it's
Yeah.
still interesting. I still listen to it every now and then, and he's still doing it as far as I know. But he just bought a place. He's from Philly, but he bought a place in Florida. I forget where at in Florida, but
Oh,
he did buy a place. I don't know if it's around Tampa. So he's down there because he's older. He's like around my age.
yeah. We
Okay.
would.
Oh, here's something interesting. Because he's a professional guitar. When I get two guitars together or a solo that melts in, I'm good. But two different parts, I only have 2 arms and hands, and it gets hard to conceptualize. Okay. I'm not sure what that means.
two different two different parts of the song, I
Right.
think, are two different things against each other kind of thing. Yeah.
Right.
I think that's what he's talking about. Like you
Yeah.
might, a lot of guys will, like you might chunk on a G way down here, and then on
Yes.
another track you go up an octave and
Right. Another.
chunk on
Yeah.
it there. The same notes, but just do them in different
It's a
spots.
different. Yeah.
You
Different
know, and
spot.
um, those are created. It just depends on the songs. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Very interesting.
I've tried just about everything that I can think of when it
Well, it was
comes.
amazing when you would show us what you were. I think you did a song from scratch. We're watching you in Discord. I mean, at us, right? You're doing everything, singing,
Yeah,
and like you came up with something really quick, and you played keyboards. It's just beautiful the way you come
well, I
up with
appreciate
something.
that. It's I've always called myself a jack of all trades, master of none kind of thing. So the hometown that I was from was kind of in the boot heel of Missouri, and there wasn't a lot of musicians to bounce off of. So I set myself up in a chair like this and learned to program drums and learned to, this is back before they had looping, capable. So I would program the drums. I got really good on finger drums on the keyboard. And then, I would, come up with an idea or, and just whatever it took, and my keyboard ideas were always limited. Sometimes I would have to do, if I wanted to do something intricate, I would have to slow it down and do it correctly. I mean, do it that way and then speed it back up to speed, So,
Yeah, I
but
have to. I have to address this woman. She's been after me for so long. Um, I'm happily married, and please, please don't bother me anymore. I'll tell you. I know who it is. I'll tell you who it is later.
uh,
You know who it is too.
I think I know who it is.
Yeah.
The only one that's got a wicked sense of humor like I do.
Okay, the Doll Pile has a few songs with multiple rhythm tracks that fit well, but they were all on accent, trying multiple takes and just tossing. Okay, yeah. I got you.
Yep.
Yeah, I could start doing it. Like I said, I'm reading it, so I'm starting to understand. Now, some people are telling me like some people like if you use the same track, just offset it like every a fraction or something.
Yeah.
But I was going to try to just like you said, just do the whole thing over again. Do it.
Well,
See,
there's a
try to
lot of
change it up a little bit.
back in the 70s. You remember I don't remember who did it, but hey kid, rock and
Yes.
roll, rock on.
What was
Uh,
this? What was
is
this?
that
That's a
David
great
Essex?
song.
Is that David
Yeah,
Essex?
David Essex.
Okay.
That's it.
Well, what they did on that before they started doing a lot of the tracking stuff, it got more mature
Hmm.
really quickly after that. But what they used to do was really creative is they would put his lead vocal and pan it far right, and then they would delay it by about a half a second or maybe a little less and put that on the left speaker. And that's what gave
Okay.
you that room-ish sound. And a lot of people did that. A lot of people did that. They would
That was a fantastic
and
song.
if you
Unfortunately,
listen to that song, that you'll know what I'm talking about.
yeah. Unfortunately, I think he was like a one hit wonder. That I don't know if he did anything that popular after that or not. I don't
Yeah,
know.
and that was a big draw for that song was
That's a
that
great
effect
song.
that he did. When you put it on the speakers and you listen to it in stereo, it was just way, way cool.
Hmm.
Hey, Laurie. Laurie's a visiting us. So now the snow, are you guys still in a bunch of snow? Or?
I'm all right up here. We just been real cold.
Really?
I still got snow from 2 or 3 weeks on the ground. So, but it was only a few inches to begin with, but it's still out there. Not on the streets, just on
Yeah,
the grass. But it was warmed up today. I think it's supposed to get near. I don't know if it's supposed to get near 50 or in the high 40s
yeah.
in a couple days. So it is melting a little bit.
My wife was
Now,
telling me it was 80 plus in the parks today.
oh
So
really?
yeah, pretty hot. Got pretty
Oh
hot.
yeah.
We've been having some cool evenings in the.
Oh yeah. I think you did get hit with some kind
Yeah,
of
we
cold
got
spell. I
hit with
saw
like a
that.
31 degrees or something like that. We had to bring some plants in, but yeah, that was
Don't last long though. Fortunately, that's good.
James Dean. She's
James
talking
Dean.
about the sausages.
All right, so I think we hit about an hour.
Do what?
I think we hit our hour.
Oh, okay.
That was pretty good. Pretty good
Yeah,
show.
man.
Short and sweet. That's what I like. Short and sweet, and
Yeah.
get a message across. Like we talked about. Well, full time musicians and their taxes. Pay your taxes and get your deductibles.
Yeah, baby.
And
That's important.
are
So I know I've got quite a bit on my list, that are still, over time, um, deductions. They give you like, I think 7 years for depreciation,
really
so. Oh
itemized.
yeah. Yeah. So that can prevent you from having to pay back Uncle Sam, or anything that you may have paid in, you get it back.
It wouldn't benefit me though. Would it? I mean,
Oh, sure.
how?
Why not?
How? Because I'm just a bedroom guitar player.
It don't matter. I mean, you're even if you go after playing out and or maybe not that, maybe you submit something online, or it's still a part of your career. You don't have to have big fat license. I mean, it's still part of you as a. I mean, you
I was a
even being
warehouse worker. That's all I was. A cycle counter. That's all
if
I
you're
was.
spending money on music,
Right.
trust me, there's it's deductible. You can do that. So I mean, you can find a way to do that. I'm sure.
All right.
So
But so I got back in it in 2015, and I kept on adding.
yeah.
I think
Well,
not too long ago, like made in Mexico strap was like 650. Now they're retailing at 850.
oh, I know.
Everything's going up. I got this little guitar amp, the Black Star ID Core 10. I think I paid 109. I was in my local shop yesterday taking my guitar in. Same thing, 169. That's how much
I
it's gone
think
up.
it has a lot to do with supply right
Oh
now.
yeah, I'm sure it does.
I bought a Neve box. It's the 500 series
Mhm.
modules that you stick in them, and it's a 10 space box that I think I paid $625 for it. And I went online today and retailing, it's at $999,
Yeah.
and you can't get them. I went on Reverb and all these other places, and everything has gone up either 20 or 25%.
Now,
Guitars, you know.
now my wife, she does the grocery shop. I'll go with her, but I usually wait in the car. And she's just telling me like there's more and more shelves empty, more and more shelves empty. I don't know. I don't understand.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for stopping in.
Yes.
Um,
I'm gonna try to make. I mean, if you want to have me, you know.
yeah, I always had. I didn't want to bug you because I
No,
knew
no,
you.
no. That's fine. If I'm
And
available, I will definitely be
I
here.
didn't see you
You
in
know.
Discord the last couple of days, and well, I knew you were trying to message me. I saw it after the fact. But
Yeah, yeah,
anyway, yeah, I just could come up. For an hour, it's easy to come up with something to talk about
yeah.
instead of talking for an hour and a half, 2 hours about nothing.
Sure.
Like I used to do. So, all right, guys, y'all have a good rest of the week, and we shall see you later.
Thanks,
Bye.
Mitch. I'll talk to you later, buddy.
See ya.
Bye bye.
Bye.